I want to make this really clear for you. A man's effort equals his interest. It's a simple formula to know whether or not this man is even worth you taking seriously. If he ain't interested, and don't think it's all about you. There are a lot of men who are not even interested in the relationship that you want to build. They may be interested in you, but for something that you have no interest in. A man could be interested in you for playtime. He could be interested in you because you got money and he needs some money. You don't want love, you want help. But a man's effort is always going to equate to his interest, both in you and what it is that you know that you want. And you can save yourself a lot of time, a lot of heartache, a lot of regrets if you at least weed out the men who don't have a mutual interest in what you're trying to build or in the same kind of interest that you have in him. Don't be like this sister that just hit me up. You know, she I ain't gonna lie to you, y'all. Like, I love y'all, but sometimes I get a little frustrated. And not frustrated at you, but frustrated because you're not seeing how your own heart for others is getting in your way of the person that you want that can really hold your heart. But anyway, she upset with me because she's trying to get all of these techniques on how to basically make a man grow up. She wants to be able to not just support a man and what he's doing for his own growth, but she wants to make that man grow up. How can I make him do this, that, and the other that a man is supposed to do? How can I make him do all of this work that he was supposed to do before he even came and stepped to me? And I'm looking at it like, sister, instead of trying to make a man grow up or complaining or trying to figure out new ways to teach a man to grow up, why not just date men who are already grown? Y'all help me understand. Why not just date men who are already grown? We don't have to have, like, the rest of the discussions we can have later, because of course, effort doesn't equate to exact execution. There's a learning curve. Whenever you meet a man, there are things he don't know about you. There are things that he got to learn about you. You know what? That's the beauty of the relationship process. But don't get confused, or should I say, don't be distracted by how many boxes this man checks off on all of the things that you want, and he's your type. Sometimes your type is getting in the way of your soulmate. Oh, he has this, he has that, he looks like this, and he looks like that, and he talks like this, and he talks like that, and I've been waiting. You're still going to be waiting for that healthy relationship if that's all you're going on. He checked all of those boxes. But let me give you some game. When a man is truly interested in you, his preparation is going to be louder than his presentation. When a man is truly interested in you and what you guys could have together, his preparation is going to speak way louder. It's going to speak volumes over anything in his presentation. That means anything on the surface level or whatever. That's where a lot of guys try to basically distract you. Look at this car. Look at my clothes. Look at this cologne. Smell this cologne. Look at these nice little words I might use to tell you something and make promises and future fake, and look at this, look at that. But the preparation is always going to be louder, or lack thereof. Because when you start really getting deeper and asking him for some things that you can't just, just on the fly, or you can't fake, or you can't universally know about women and do here because you want a certain end result, that's when it's really going to tell. Matter of fact, I'm going to give y'all, I told her this because even though I got frustrated, I did give it a game. Anytime, of course I do the master classes, right? And they're free. Because I like to go deeper in my master classes than what I can go here on social media for at least 45 minutes, maybe even longer. But for those who watch through to the end, I like to do a Q&A, and all the questions I try to answer as many as possible every single day. I'm going to do it right after I get off here too. I just pinned the link to the one that she had watched, the Secrets to Attracting Alpha Males Only. Anyway, I'm going to give y'all the exact same 7 points to know if that man is truly interested in you. And the first way that you know that man is interested in you, because this is a starting point. This ain't all of it. But if he treats dating you like just an option, he's not interested. And you see, that's going to go against a lot of what we hear. Okay, you dating people, you date whoever you want. Singleness is not the time to do what you want. It's the time to prepare for what you want. And men who are serious, men who are truly interested in building something serious, already walk according to that. I'm telling you this as a man. Case in point, think of a man who has a lifetime opportunity Maybe it's a job and it pays $300,000 and currently he's only making $50,000 and he needs this job. He could change his mama's life with his job. He can get his kids the tutors and college education paid for. This is the opportunity he's been waiting for, potentially. He don't know it yet. Do you think when it come time for that man to go to that interview, he gonna treat it like an option? Like, oh, I got this, that, and the other due tomorrow. Maybe I'll go to the interview, maybe not. Just an option. Maybe I'll get to it, maybe I won't. If I can fit it in my schedule, then I'll make sure I'm on time. Do you think that man is going to treat this opportunity just to evaluate and be evaluated like an option? Or is he going to treat it like a priority? Like, I might got other things going on in my life, but this right here ain't nothing to play with. I'm coming correct. I'm getting my sleep. I'm drinking my water. I'm eating my vitamins. Or I'm doing whatever I got to do. My veggies. I'm going to come correct. I'm going to be sharp. He treats it like a priority, even though he ain't even hired yet. Now, you may be saying, well, Derek, that's too much to ask in this day and age. No, you just used to dating little boys. You're used to dating little boys. When a man is approaching a situation, especially an alpha male, he knows the power that a person or a woman is going to have in his role in his life. He knows the power. He's not about to play around with who he even gives that power to, how he discerns, how he evaluates. He's going to approach this like this could potentially be a life-changing opportunity. I don't even know it yet, and I'm already going to prioritize this process of evaluating. When you're dating men and they date you like it's something they do in their spare time, when it's convenient, if they can get to it, then they will. That man is simply not interested. Rather, it's not interested in you or not interested in the relationship. I don't care how tall he is. I don't care how nice his smile is, where he went to school. I don't care. That's really nice. Now, I'm not saying get somebody that you're not attracted to. I'm just saying when a man is truly interested, both in what you're trying to build, because there's got to be, the things are separate. The interest in the relationship, the level of relationship is one thing, and the interest in you specifically is a whole nother. But when he has both of those things in place, he's not going to treat the potential future with you like it's just something he might get to, might evaluate, this is an opportunity of a lifetime. Not a definite, not a guarantee. Y'all be thinking, well, I'll get the seriousness from him whenever we're actually in a relationship. No, when that man is for real, out the gate, he's going to treat just dating you like it's a priority. Now, with that being said, be ready for that man to have some high standards. I'm not here to gas you up. I want to keep it all the way real. I want to keep that man's going to have standards for you. And if you're a woman of standards yourself, you're not going to have no problem with that. But the man's not going to play around. These kind of guys, they can be a little bit strict. They do stand on business. And you want that. You want that man to know his worth, because that's the exact same worth he's going to operate in whenever it's time to protect the relationship that y'all get into. You don't want a man that'll take any and everything, because any and everything in his life is going to get treated as such by the outsiders that he's supposed to be protecting it from. That's a whole other conversation. But an intentional man is going to have and create space and capacity to get to know you as a priority. You're not going to have to be asking him, oh, can we talk? Can we go on a date? Can we do something more meaningful than just meeting up at the house or linking up and et cetera, et cetera? Can you plan a date? Can you protect the time that we're supposed to be talking to each other? Can I get your undivided attention? That man ain't interested. That man ain't interested. And again, don't personalize it like it's all you. It may be that he's not interested in you. So what? But a lot of times a man don't even have the interest in the relationship level that you're trying to build and create and be a part of. Surface level men would just fit you in wherever you get in. Basically, when there's nothing left better to do. Second thing I told the sister on how to gauge if that man is truly interested is essentially assess that man's emotional bank account. You see, it's not enough that right here, right now, he sees an opportunity. Has he even done the work to make sure he's invested in his emotional bank account, restored his emotional bank account so that he can now deposit into you emotionally? A lot of times you get with a man who's depleted or he's in the red emotionally. because he had not had the interest in a real relationship prior to you coming along. Now, are there exceptions where a man just been through his go through? Absolutely. And still, there needs to be such an interest in a serious relationship that he waits until he starts to seriously date. But if the man has an emotionally drained bank account, or it's in the negative, he coming in with a void, he's dating while broken. And this is the exact same concept as a man who doesn't date because, he wants love. He's dating because he wants help, but on an emotional level. He's trauma bonding or looking to trauma bond. But when that man, before you even came along, has had the adequate amount of interest in the relationship that he's saying now that he wants, there's going to be an emotional bank account he can draw from to deposit into you. Case in point, it's not always going to feel like you're constantly holding space for him, doing for him, checking on him, speaking life into him. He's going to be able to do those exact same things for you. At least at the same level that you are. Because I would think if you want a leader, he's going to be the assertive factor, especially in the courting stage, but that's a different conversation. But he's going to understand, I got to make and keep consistent connection with this woman. These are deposits. And I got to have an emotional bank account that actually got something I can draw from. So we can have this emotional connection. The physical is easy. There ain't even no getting to know each other if there ain't no physical connection. It's the emotional where a lot of people fall short. If he sees you working hard, he sees you striving for something. Maybe he sees that you got some stuff going on in your life. Does he have capacity to listen to you without turning the conversation around to make it all about him? Does he have the capacity to keep the conversation going strictly on things that you're trying to vent about and process right now? Does the conversation get really dry when it's strictly just you just making your way through things that may be going on and taking place in your life? Meanwhile, in any time that he needs to talk, you could spend 2 hours on the phone with this man and not say nothing about you and how you're feeling. Just strictly dealing with his feelings. If so, there's a disparity in the emotional bank account. And he either doesn't have interest in the relationship that you guys are supposed to be having, or he don't have the interest in you. And nothing's wrong with him not having interest in you. So what? So what? The McDonald's cashier ain't got interest in being a Fortune 500 CEO. I'm going to just keep it real. And I've worked at a fast food restaurant, so this is no shade. But I'm just keeping it real. Not everybody going to be interested in you. If they know they can't handle it. If they have no confidence, if they're intimidated. Look, you want certain people to not have interest in you. Promise you. And again, like I said, if you don't take nothing away from this but this statement, a man who is truly interested in you, his preparation is going to be so much louder than his presentation. 90% of the work is going to be before you even came in his life. You just on the tail end, ready to guide him in how he's supposed to show up for you. But everything he's supposed to be equipped with, 90% of it, is going to be there before you even come along. The discipline he was supposed to cultivate in his flesh. The healing he was supposed to do. The invisible work. Just to be relationship ready. To stop the momentum of his single life so that whenever he got into a relationship, it wouldn't be a culture shock to love on one woman. I know it sounds like I'm asking for a lot. No, it's because a lot of y'all done got too comfortable with too little. You see, if a man is sitting there relying just on charm and love bombing. Love bombing ain't just these grandiose things, but all of the little things that y'all might be talking about online or on the women podcast and stuff like that. And he just happened to say the exact same thing or regurgitate certain things that he done heard on the podcast. Like, that's a form of love bombing as well. Like, he gets it. No, he just remembered it. He memorized it. Be very careful about that. A lot of mirroring going on. I feel just the same way that you feel. Because he done looked at your Instagram and know some quotes that you done put, or some songs that you done put, or some podcasts that you're interested in. And now he done regurgitated some of the lines from those women, because clearly you relate since you're listening. That's a whole, man, look, this is why I talk about the difference between an alpha male and a beta male. Those men who are playing games, those men who feel like they got to because they're not in their authenticity, versus the alpha male who ain't playing these. I deep dive into that in my masterclass. The secrets to attracting alpha males only. But again, His preparation is going to be there. Is everything going to be perfect? No. But you're going to see intentionality that preceded you. You're going to see intentionality that preceded you. Has he even done the work to audit the way that he showed up with his exes? Or are they all crazy? Has he even developed awareness about where he went wrong and ways that he could have been better in previous relationships? So that hindsight 2020 is already there before you come along and you be the thing that he looking at in hindsight to have 2020. What preparation has he done? What third party has he gotten to help him look at his past behavior in a new light so that going forward he can operate in that new light? Am I making sense to anybody? Because I don't want to lose y'all. I know this is different than, ladies, y'all standards too high. Y'all want too much from a man. Y'all think y'all can't do no. I know this is different. But I think y'all have heard those stories enough. I want you to have higher standards so that there's room for the kind of man that you actually want, because the kind of man that you actually want is looking for you to have your plate clear. A king can't bring nothing to the table if your plate is still full of BS from losers. King can't bring nothing to your table. You got jokers sitting at the table. You got jesters sitting at the table. You think a king gonna bring anything to the table? No. And alpha males are out here looking for women that have done the work or are doing the work. But a lot of y'all have not yet learned to discern when a man is truly interested or not. You just know you want to have these characteristics. The main characteristic, or one of them anyway, needs to be the level of interest he even has. You start there. His height and all that, his smile and the color of his skin, the car, and all that stuff can come right after that. Honestly, if he's truly interested in building something substantial with you, a lot of those things are going to be taken care of. Not stuff he can't control, but, you know, his financial situation, his mental health situation, is it going to be perfect? No, but you're going to see intentionality. A man who's truly interested in you is also going to spend quality time. That is time that is made for you, not spared for you. Quality time isn't just his presence. It's also his presence of mind. And I'm not saying, look, I get it. Men who are busy, men who got a lot of motion and things going on, or it may just be lifing, can sometimes feel distracted. They can sometimes feel like, man, they're all over the place. When a man is truly interested in you, though, he knows what impact that's having on you, that every time he's with you, you have to share him with his phone or with everybody calling or what he got to go do right after this or whatever the case may be, that's limiting the time that y'all are supposed to spend. And what he's going to do is he may have one or two instances max in the very beginning where, man, I got this call. Oh, man, I got to check this text. But he's going to be accountable to that. Hey, look, I want to avoid having that happen ever again. I apologize. And let me make it up to you. Tonight, I've ensured I've cleared my calendar, or this weekend I've cleared my calendar, or whenever you're available next for us to spend some time, I'm clearing my calendar. I'm clearing my schedule for those 3 hours, 4 hours, for the rest of the night. And I just want to spend time with you. You're going to get accountability because he understands the importance of that quality time, his presence of mind, not just his physical presence being there. Meanwhile, you feel like you're talking to yourself, or y'all talking and he's staring up at the screen with the game on. That making sense? Y'all let me know. Am I making sense to anybody? Is anything that I'm saying facts, or am I speaking facts, or am I speaking fiction? Now, if the man sit there, y'all go out, and the only time you pique his interest is whenever he talking about something, or you talking about something that could potentially be sexual, and give him an idea of your readiness for that. If only time he get real interested and dialed in is when it's something that might be physical, sexual, or talking about what y'all doing right after that. He don't want to know nothing about your desires. He don't want to know nothing about your motivations, what inspires you, who inspires you, how did you come to be the kind of woman that you are today. Nothing intrigues him. No curiosity about anything about you beyond the surface level. But the moment you start talking about the last time that you had sex, and what it requires or what you like in the bedroom, all of a sudden he 100% ninja focused. And let me clear this up, because the sister that asked this question after she watched that free masterclass on secrets to attracting alpha males, she was asking about like men who want to take their time. Look, I'm all for a man taking his time. I'm all for a man pacing himself. I've always said this. You should absolutely take your time. You see, your patience is going to be your lie detector test. It's going to show you a man's patterns whenever you take your time. But there's a flip side to that, and that's that when a man is serious about you, there's going to be a level of urgency. His urgency is going to match his certainty. And urgency doesn't mean rushing. It doesn't mean the time spent to get to the end result. If urgency speaks to all the steps in the process, being intentional. If there's an urgency, say there's an urgency in me baking a cake. That doesn't mean I go and put the cake on 600 degrees in the oven or something that's going to mess it up. That means immediately when I come in, I'm efficient. I'm making sure each and everything is done. I'm not going to mix the flour and the eggs and the milk, then go sit down and watch TV, and then go and take a shower, and then go do this, and then come back to it. I'm going to make sure there's urgency, and hey, nothing else can clutter this process. So what that looks like in a dating situation, there are proper steps to take. It may be 2 months of intentionally dating, but there's going to be an urgency to do that and not split it up with, oh, yeah, well, you know, we can't hang out this weekend because I got blah, blah, blah going on. Or you know what, I couldn't call you back for the last 2 days because, you know, I just been so busy and I needed to take a nap. Or I got this other girl and that other girl. So there's going to be an urgency on taking the proper steps to build something substantial, or at least to evaluate if you guys can build something. There will be consistent steps. Again, not start, stop, hot, cold, withdrawing. There's an urgency because there's a certainty there. There's nothing lackadaisical about it. You shouldn't be asking them, hold on, wait, we started off so hot, now why are we so cold? We used to talk every day. Why we ain't talking every day? The urgency may be, again, a 3-month process. Hey, every single day I need to know that we're going deeper and deeper into how well we know each other. The urgency may be just the priority in which I'm going to make sure we have our time at least 2-3 times a week. Not so structured, but we're going to have adequate time to spend in each other's presence to know if we can just hang, if we can just be in each other's presence without getting annoyed or getting tired or getting bored. So 3 months, 1 month, that's not the biggest thing. What are the proper steps? What are the things that need to be seen? What are the boxes that need to be checked? We're going to have an urgency, which is essentially an efficiency, which is essentially not being distracted by everything else because this is a priority. Linda, you said too many excuses. Exactly. That tells you that man don't have no urgency. There's no urgency. Time waits for no man. None at all. If he's just trying to keep a distance and, you know, just kind of string things out, and no, he got too much else going on. A man who is truly interested in you also, he's going to be emotionally intelligent in the small moments. Not just when it's time for him to win a debate. But I'm talking about the subtle emotional cues. You see, whenever you get to dating a man seriously, he's not going to know everything about you. But he's going to make an effort to pick up on even the things you don't say. Any man who has any level of emotional intelligence is going to understand there are times where a woman has thoughts, has feelings that she don't have the words for. And if he's truly there to protect and provide, he's not looking to just protect and provide whenever you push his button, whenever you explicitly state, I need your help. He's going to look for ways to bring you back to a place of comfort or peace if he sees that you're getting away from that. I don't want to lose y'all here. There's a certain level of care that comes across from a man who tries to anticipate your needs. If you come in the house and you crying, don't you know the man that love you ain't gonna just sit there? Well, you ain't tell me you was upset. He saw you crying. If you come in the house, let's say y'all are together, you come in the house and you rubbing your temples, the man that truly loves you is not gonna be like, well, you ain't tell me your head was hurting. You ain't telling me you was stressed. If you come in the house kind of limping a little bit, the man that truly loves you, he's not below. You ain't tell me your feet was hurting or that was sore or something like that. You clutching your back. You ain't got to try to go out your way to do these things passively, but I'm saying even without you trying to do anything, your body language is going to speak to the man that truly loves you, and he's going to understand something. The effort is going to translate into emotional intelligence. He ain't got to be somebody that read all these big old books and been to seminar. Just the effort will translate into emotional intelligence about his woman. I know every time that she do that, she's on this. I know every time that she makes this kind of, she goes into the room before she comes into the kitchen, there's something heavy on her heart. I know, if she ain't going to the house and take off her stuff and get in the shower, then something wrong. She ain't even herself today. Y'all be thinking, well, he can't read my mind. The men say he can't read your mind, but he should be able to read something. Your nonverbal communication, that man have been with you a year. And he don't know whenever you exhausted from the day. He can't hear it in your voice. He needs you to tell him every single time that you need him to slow down or, give you a massage or ask you more about your day or anything. Linda, you said empathy. Absolutely. There is no empathy without effort. And that's what I'm saying. Just the intellect, the emotional intelligence to understand this is a time for empathy. I hope y'all understand what I'm saying. Because it's like, well, D, this sounds unrealistic. This is the kind of feedback I get. This is the kind of and I always look at the feedback. When you guys watch the master classes, I can't see all the comments as much. I try to, like, as I'm on here right now, I see you, Tiana Lawson. I can see some of them, but when I get the feedback on the master classes, I read through and I always get people saying stuff like, this sounds really good. And it's because your belief has been tainted by those who have disappointed you. And I get it, sis. That don't mean these type of brothers ain't out here who will execute on what I'm saying. It does not mean they don't exist. Men who are truly interested in you, and you don't have to question. Because let me tell you something. Another way that you know that that man is interested is that he's not even going to need constant maintenance or instant gratification or tit for tat in order to keep his interest, in order to feel like he's interested. You're not going to constantly have to reward him or, do this or do, like, you're not going to need that. Let's say you holding up your end of the bargain in terms of just showing up and just being available, et cetera, et cetera. But yeah, maybe this week you weren't as affectionate as you were last week. You're not going to notice him dropping off and saying, well, you ain't do this for me. You ain't compliment me. You ain't touch me. When you get a man that's only doing all of these things, as long as you doing all of these things, that's tit for tat. That's all about his comfort. That ain't got nothing to do with you. That's not a man who says, you know what? I understand my woman gonna have ups and downs emotionally and otherwise. Everything ain't gonna be 50-50. Some days she gonna have 20 to give and I'm gonna need to give her 80. As long as I'm giving 100% of what I got, I'm good. That man, that right there is a man who's interested. And that's something that's long term, but that's grown man business we talking about. That's why I say the moment you start finding yourself complaining about this man, needing to grow up, be more mature, understand and get it, try harder, effort, except, man, look, you wasting your time with somebody you trying to force to grow up, and you missing out on the man who comes already grown. The alpha male. That's what I mean when I say alpha male. Don't think nothing else. When I say alpha male, I don't mean a man who beating on his chest and trying to demand stuff and act all cool when he in front of people and talk loud. That's not an alpha male. But the part that a lot of women are missing, because y'all can get disappointed so much that you acclimate down and you try to do the best with trash. You try to do the best with scraps instead of getting something that ain't scraps. But there are seven primary character traits in a woman that make an alpha male crave a woman. Pursue her with consistency and with undoubted interest. There are 7 character traits. And I found that most women have these character traits. You just don't know how to bring them forth because you've been in such defense for the men that ain't ready for you. You don't even know how to really accentuate the character traits for an alpha male. But I talked about that. If you want those, I gave those secrets. I exposed those secrets already. And I only like to do this on my masterclass because I love to have the discussion afterwards. So if you want access to that, I put the link again down here in the comments. The Secrets to Attracting Alpha Males Only. Click that link. It'll give you access to register to reserve your spot before I take that back down. That's a free masterclass, by the way. Where I give you the exact character traits that alpha males crave the most. If you look, Derek, where are they at? They're with women or pursuing women who have and know how to show those 7 character traits. I've seen it over and over again. You don't have to settle for these men that need to grow up. You don't have to settle for lukewarm interest. You don't have to settle for a man who really wants you, but has done nothing to prepare for the kind of relationship that can secure you. You don't have to. But at some point, you have to let go of good when you know deep down it's not good enough. You have to choose you in order to attract the man who's going to do the exact same. So what you going to do? Now, those are just my thoughts. If you find truth in what I said, though, keep your money. But I do ask that you hit the little arrow somewhere at the bottom or wherever you see it on your screen so you can share this on your timeline. All I ask is that you pay it forward. So if you got something out of this, hit the share button so somebody else can get some value out of it as well. And if you want the deep dive I did on how to make alpha males crave you, this is only alpha males. Now, for those of y'all, you just having fun, you want to be recreational, waste more time, do you? But if you are in the market for a true alpha male who's ready to lead, who has family values, who understands the importance that a woman can play in this life and wants that now, the link I put right here, I pinned it down in the comments by my page, Secrets to Attracting Alpha Males Only. Click that link and it'll give you access to my free masterclass. We're going to do a Q&A right after, and I'll answer as many questions as I can today. Oh, the link